Hey guys, we're back here for some more standard. So a couple things have changed since the last video. Now we're currently Platinum Tier 1. I have done a lot of reps with the Boros Aggro deck, and I gotta say, I just love it. Couple very, very minor changes to the build. Before I get into that, let's take a look at the stats. So I have played, 48 games of this deck, 30 wins and 18 losses. So from the last video, you saw me go 0-3, but most recently I've gone 8-0. So come a lot more into my own in this deck, feel a lot more comfortable with it, kind of learning the ins and outs. I think this deck is the real deal, actually. So kind of that recent win streak has pulled up the average here up to a 63% win rate. So 30 wins, 18 losses. Now let's look at some of the matches. And a lot of this is just kind of getting more comfortable with knowing how to play the matches. Esper is still kind of 50-50. Mono Red is a tough match. And with some of the recent changes, basically the plan is you literally just wait them out. You just you have the long game, and you just have to survive their initial burst, and just don't get super aggressive. Play incredibly cautious. You will win in the long run if you can survive. So that's kind of the red matchup. The mono white matchup, we actually do pretty well in the mirror. The mirror against mono white humans, because we have that kind of surprise, just incredible value factor with Immodane's Recruiter. The fact that it makes two 2/2 knights is actually kind of a big deal in that game. You get a lot of value out of that card. So, and then also happy to report Selesnya Enchantments currently 3-0, as well as 2-0 against mono blue tempo. So a lot of the matchups here, Rakdos, again, the red decks is just kind of learning, being patient, surviving the initial burst. So let's get into kind of the changes here of the deck. So very minor changes. I ended up shaving 2 1-drops just to make room for some much needed survival against mono red. So with that, I upped the Intrepid Adversary all the way up to 4. I think it is necessary because not only does it just help the deck, it's just generally a great card, but against that red matchup, just literally playing this on turn 2, surviving, even if they lightning strike it or whatever, just, yeah, you need it to survive. And then shifting up Thalia up to 3, which feels right because it's just, it's so good against every other deck, basically. And then I think the top end is unchanged, so just a couple minor adjustments here in the 1 and 2 drop slot. Minor shift, the super minor shift to the mana base. I added 1 basic mountain. Everything else is the same, still 21 sources. Part of the reason for that is that, if they use non-basic land destruction on you, you can still play your recruiter with the natural mountain, and I think that is important. And sometimes they'll do that, like on Cavern of Souls, and if that's your only red source, being able to get the mountain is super critical. So I think that's basically it. Let's get into some of the strategy for the deck. So basically, you have 2 kind of main plays that you're going through for turns 2 and 3. Turn 1, play a 1-drop. If you're up against an unknown opponent and you're going first, I would probably play the Officer if you have both Officer and Veteran in hand. Just against an unknown opponent. If you, again, because you'll be going first, so hopefully you have the initiative. You can, the extra point of damage I think does matter, especially in control matchups. So again, against an unknown opponent, I would play the Officer first. If you're going second, probably play Veteran, but at any rate. Okay, so your turn 2s and turn 3 plays. So the big ones are prepping. So if you have Knight Errant of Eos in your hand, you want to go reinforcements into Knight Errant on turn 3. Even if you have something that looks exciting, some potential things where you might not want to do that is if you're up against like mono blue tempo or control and you can stick a Thalia pretty safely. This is also a nice play to make, like if you have a 1-drop, they have 2 mana open, like a blue source and a white source, for instance, or just white. You can play Thalia just to make sure you don't get blown out by virtue of loyalty. So that's another one to consider. The other play, so if you don't have reinforcements or you don't have Knight Errant of Eos, is you want to just go turn 2 Copper Coat into turn 3 Adeline, because then you're creating that 2/1 attacking human for the extra damage. Pretty powerful. With the Recruiter, what I've found is you don't really want to like blow your load super quick with this card. You want this to be your finisher. So like if you're up against especially control, you want this to be the last card that wins the game after their Sunfall. So basically get everything else out. You know, if you can push like more than half their life total, okay, maybe if it like totally makes sense, sure. But in general, you want this to be, you know, after they board wipe, you've got your Recruiter ready, you jam it in for the final points. Against like aggro matchups, you know, you can definitely get into some contentious situations where you want to actually work on getting the 2/2 white knights for full value. And then you can go, you know, with like reinforcements and that and just build up a huge board and then just shove in for a whole lot. Yeah, Brutal Cathar, the other key point here, especially against mono white, hold on to your Brutal Cathar as long as you possibly can. Even when you think you have to play it, try to hold on to it a little bit longer, because typically the player who plays the last Brutal Cathar wins the game. It's really all about the Cathar. So try to wait for them to play their Cathar first so you can get them. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's hop into a couple games. But I think, like, Boros is back, baby. I mean, I am super excited about this deck. I think this is, like, in my previous video, I think this is the evolution of humans. I think this is the best version of humans that currently is available. I know it's a bold statement, but I think it's correct. And this, like, just gives it that extra edge that just takes it over the top. Okay, Picnic Ruiner deck. This is, yeah, they can kind of blow you out super fast, so you have to be incredibly careful about Cacophony Scamps and the Picnic Ruiners. Let's see what we want to do here. Okay, I guess we run out with Initiate here. I guess it doesn't really matter, I suppose, because they'll be able to pump this, so we'll get the Initiate going. But basically, yeah, we want to deal with this as quickly as possible. If they give us any chance to trade evenly, we absolutely will do it. So they probably have Giant Growth here, but we can force them to use it. So I think that it's still right to try blocking here, because we just need to get this thing off the board. And we want to make sure that they can't do like multiple pumps in one turn. So maybe it would have been better to run out Officer, I suppose, for that exact situation. I was thinking of Giant Growth, which I think they also run, but that would have given us a little bit more options there. Okay, so the next card we want to be playing is Thalia. This will severely limit what they can do. Because they're basically like a couple creatures and all spells. I don't know if they understand. I guess they get to trade for our Thalia. So this is still, we still have to get this thing off the board. So I think trading here is, it's okay. It's not ideal, but it's okay. What we're really hoping for is like Brutal Cathar or something like that. Now this thing doesn't have trample, right? It's just double strike. Okay, yeah. So then I think we want to just hop in front. Again, we're just trying to buy time so we're able to find one of our Brutal Cathars. Okay, they had the trample. That's rough. Yeah, now it's got trample. I think we're just dead at this point. Can we get enough toughness out of the way? No, because it's going to double strike. So I think that's just it. Yeah. Unfortunately. Yeah, we've only got 5 points, so that's game. Tough beats. But I still think we played it the best we could. We had to block with Thalia, otherwise they would have just done damage and then killed Thalia. So that's a matchup where you're just like actively looking for the your Thalias and your Brutal Cathars. And you're okay, the major cards you're watching out for is Picnic Ruiner and Scamp. Those are the two that can essentially double their damage. The rest of the creatures, while certainly are annoying, are less important in that matchup. Here, let's just do... So we don't have Knight Errant in hand. We could draw into it, but we do have the Adeline, so let's go for our Copper Coat into Adeline combo. This also helps in case they've got, like, Smite, so now they can't smite us. So Thalia puts a little bit of a damper into this plan. We could Cathar it, but we want to try to hold on to our Cathar. So I think what we want to do here instead, we could attack, and if they choose to block, we could Iganjo their Thalia. The other thing we could do is just set up to do that next turn and just play the Adeline and sacrifice the damage. And I think that's probably a better play here. It's just set up for next turn. Again, you want to be the last player to play Brutal Cathar if possible. Yeah, there's their Cathar, so now we can Cathar their Cathar and then get them. The other thing we can do here is we can attack they probably just block our 1/1 with Thalia, and that's fine. So you always want to ask yourself, do you absolutely have to Cathar? Because they could have a second Cathar. So maybe we just let the Cathar do its thing. It is kind of dangerous, though, to let that happen, because then they can like wait and flip it, and then you have a sort of weird game with the Cathars. So yeah, I think the plan here, maybe do we want a Cathar right now? We're not pushing that much extra damage, so I think maybe we just attack with Adeline, see what they do. Just push a little bit of damage. And just hold on to that Cathar. We could Iganjo the Thalia. It is kind of cramping our style right now, and I kind of do like doing that. However, if we do that, then this is going to flip. So I think instead we just want to push extra damage, and we're going to reinforcements instead. And again, we're going to hold on to our Iganjo here, just because it will most likely come up here soon. So checking for double Cathar. Guess they had to lay down arms. In a way, this is good, because now they would have laid down arms, our Cathar, had we done that last turn. We also have the second Adeline here, so we're okay. But yeah, it's just kind of this like weird elaborate dance around who's got the Cathar. Here again, nothing too exciting. I think we just want to lay Adeline and start sort of gaining ground. Because they've got like the Indestructible and the First Strike, we can't really do much. So I think we're just building up a squad. Okay, now that's something that we have to Cathar, because that is basically unbeatable for our deck. So really happy that we waited. Question is, like, if we Cathar that right now, are we able to attack? Because I guess they can just like trade their Thalia for our Adeline. Because we don't have the extra. I think we just play Thalia this turn, actually, and not attack. I know it's kind of anticlimactic, but we are kind of setting up here. Okay, so now they probably give this thing lifelink and push in for 5, which is annoying, but isn't the end of the world. Or vigilance, yeah, it's fine. So now I think if we Cathar with Iganjo back up, we can get our Adeline to do something. And thanks to our 2 legendaries, we should be able to Iganjo for 1. Yeah, so I think it's just Adeline that pushes. And they had their Iganjo ready. Rats. Could take out their Thalia here, but again, we'd rather kill their Seraph, so we're fine letting this go. Okay, so they're planning to just use their Guardian here. However, they don't have any cards in hand, so especially if they enlist. Man, I want to kill their Guardian. The Guardian's super annoying. However, I think these Seraphs are just going to be a huge problem, and we need to deal with them. All right, let's let them scry because we don't want to give them information that we've got a Ganjo before they scry. Okay, now we can go searching. Adversary is really good. That'll pump our team +2/+2. That seems like the one to grab. And then we don't have to play this Cavern right now, so we can just like let them think we only have single pump. I don't think there's any real downside to not playing it this turn. Unfortunately, we can't push because of Seraph there, so no attacks. They have their own adversary. That's nasty. Yeah, maybe we should have killed Guardian last turn. Yeah, it's hard to know. Like, Seraph is super annoying too. Yeah, the problem is they can push so much damage with Guardian this way, if they give it flying. Yeah, I think we should have killed Guardian instead. Okay, so they're representing lethal. They have exact lethal here. So you can kill Initiate. And then I think chump here. We take 10 in the air. Is unavoidable. Is there any way we can survive this? I think so. We have to Knight Errant for Brutal Cathar. Because if we just double pump, they just block something like this, gain some life. They go to 21. We're not doing that much damage. All right, so if we Knight Errant here, we need to have exactly 3 mana left. And search for 3. So I think, because this is going to become a 2/2 next turn, so we actually want to have Thalia back, I think. So I think we tap like this. Didn't find it. Oh well, a little bit short. Yeah, because now they just kill us in the air, so we can push for not enough. I guess we also could have officered. No, actually, we don't have enough mana. Yeah, tough beats. Oh, it's so funny. My video with you guys yesterday, I go 0-3 and then I go 8-0 off screen, and then I'm going 0-2 again. Oh, I swear, guys, this really is a good deck. Oh. But I think I'm learning more about the matchups and the interplay and how it all goes. Kind of like what is important in each match, and hopefully you guys can find that useful. I know it's kind of late in the episode, but if you are just discovering my channel, welcome to my channel, and if you like my content, yeah, please consider subscribing. I'll have a link in the description of this video for the last one, which kind of goes over the whole deck, but it'll also be in the playlist, so... At any rate, I am loving this deck and getting better at it by playing tons and tons and tons of matches, so that hopefully you guys can reap the benefits of all my blood, sweat, and tears. And there have been a lot of tears. Oh man. Okay, could be Esper. Probably Control, since they got the tap land here. Otherwise, it's like that black-white cleric deck. Either way, yeah, if they're running natural plans, it's gotta be the black-white. Oh, this is probably like black-white Super Friends? Like tons of planeswalkers and all kinds of nonsense. Infinite removal. Alright, let's go searching. Pushing damage is fun and everything, but we need to go searching. Yep, they wisely saw that. Interrupted our Knight of Eris, Errand of Eos chain. We really wanted to search for 3, so that's unfortunate. Okay, let's try that again. This time with feeling. Those both seem really useful. So they might main phase Wandering Emperor here. Or depopulate, I suppose. I'm guessing they have Sunfall for sure. Question is, do they also run depopulate? Alright, 100% playing Thalia, so they don't have any shenanigans here. Let's get Thalia going. We could Knight Errant again, but I think I just want to push damage now. Also, they could like kill Thalia end of turn and then Sunfall, so I think we don't want to put anything more into the field right now. This was mainly to make sure they couldn't kill our stuff end of turn with Wandering Emperor. Yeah. That's the sound of them not being able to play Sunfall on their turn. All right, so let's take a look here again at the stats. All right, so 61% overall win rate, 31 wins, 20 losses. With the most recent version, 9-2. So, but yeah, overall, again, the matchups that we're looking at, trying to push this number up for the mono red matchup. We didn't see any in this round, but I guarantee they'll be back. Don't you worry. So, thanks guys for watching, and we will see you tomorrow.